Hello and welcome to Tornado Talk on this Monday and first day of classes here at Brevard College. In this edition of Tornado Talk, we will be catching up with some of our student athletes. Rebecca Rojas, that's over to my right, who's a senior women's soccer goalkeeper from Marietta, California, from Vista Marietta High School, who's a major in business and organizational leadership as well as a pre-law minor and a USA South All-Academic Team member. Great job, Rebecca, on that. Rebecca is also a hall director and SGA co-president. So glad to have you here, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Next is Casey Collins in the bottom right of your screen. Casey is a junior women's lax attack / goalkeeper and from Marietta, Georgia, and Pope High School product, who has a major in Willie and environmental sports, a double major there, and also a USA South All-Academic Team member. Casey is also an RA and captain of the women's lacrosse team and a SAC member. Excuse me. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. And then right below me is Hayden Castle. He's a junior men's basketball forward and from Kingsport, Tennessee, Dobbins Bennett High School product, who has a major in exercise science as well as a minor in coaching. Hayden is an orientation leader and a student athletic advisory committee member, as well as Casey there. And great to have you here, Hayden.
Yes, sir, Patrick. Glad to be here.
Awesome. So, Rebecca, I'll get into you first. As I mentioned, a hall director, SGA co-president. What is that? What's your life on campus really like here at Brevard College?
My life here on campus is a different type of kind of set of expectations that I have for myself. So, as SGA co-president, I represent the student body, and so I have to act accordingly. And I want to be as engaging with the students as possible. And one of my goals for this year is to offer to really to build community. I think now more than ever, we need community on campus, doing so safely. And so in regards, that's one of my goals. And through community, I hope to offer some safe spaces so we can gather and communicate things that we want to see change on Brevard College on our campus and continue to grow with one another. As a hall director, one of my roles include managing and training RAs within the Green Residence Hall. And so just taking care of the residents, making sure they're staying safe and making sure they're staying healthy, especially now with COVID, and making sure the building is still functioning and being there for my residents and the RAs more specifically. So, yeah.
Awesome. I know we all appreciate you on campus and having such a big role. We go over to Casey, who's a resident advisor, RA in the Villages, and captain of the women's lacrosse team, as well as a SAC member. So, Casey, what kind of roles do you have on campus?
Yeah, so I've been in the Villages now for 2 years. So I am looking out for my residents here in 2 villages this year, and just making sure everything's going okay and everybody really understands the COVID procedures for in the building and for the new ones in classes in the dining hall. As well as lacrosse goes, I am keeping tabs on all of my students, all of the other players, especially the freshmen, making sure they're getting what they need when they need it, and really working on taking charge in the weight room and for captain's practices for the preseason.
Awesome. Thank you. And going down over to Hayden. Hayden, you're an orientation leader, I take it, as well as a SAC member. So what are some of your responsibilities around campus?
As an orientation leader, one of the main things we do is we love to try and bring hype around campus activities. And so that's like this past Friday, we actually had a Call of Duty video game tournament, and it was a pretty big hit. So we love to, try to bring hype to the events on campus, and especially since all the COVID-19 stuff going on. A lot of the stuff is virtual now, so we still have to try to get student involvement in that. And on campus-wise, I actually live at the Brevard Music Center, so I commute every day. But I stay on campus most of the day, either in the gym or hanging out with friends. But I just try to bring energy, bring a smile to people's faces anytime I'm on campus.
Awesome. You mentioned living at the Brevard Music Center. How has that been going, and how is that different from living on campus, rather? So,
this is the second year that my place is called actually Trentini. This is the second year that they've allowed students to house here and stuff. But I'm actually considered a residential student, but I have a commuter parking pass. But I love it. It's a beautiful area. The campus is huge, and we're like a small family here. So it's a really great time so far.
That's awesome. That's great to hear, Hayden. So I'll get into this first question. As we all know, today was the first day of classes at Brevard College. I know we've all been waiting for this day since March, since we got the call after spring break that we're going all online and stuff like that. So, Rebecca, how was this actually going to class and having face-to-face interaction with your professors and with your classmates? How was this day for you?
I would say this day was a wild string of emotions. This day was kind of initiated by some anxieties of just what is a classroom instruction going to look like? Are students going to obey the face mask policy? And so heading to my class, actually I have a class at the Porter Center, which is also really cool to see how adaptive and flexible the college has been in terms of creativity and arranging the classrooms. So once I walked in the classroom, I noticed all my fellow students were, wearing their mask and everything. And I just felt at ease in terms of seeing everyone abide by the policies we have on campus. And in terms of, it's just really exciting seeing everyone, and then also seeing some professors that I haven't seen since March. And so it's been a roller coaster of emotions, but I want to say that I'm really proud of the staff and faculty on campus and how well they've come together and are have made this my first/last day of classes possible. As a senior, I'm really appreciative that I'm able to have classroom instruction, because I know some of my friends back home unfortunately are all online. So I'm just thankful, and was a little anxious at first, but I'm very proud for our Brevard College community. I'm excited. We just got to stay on the right track and got to stay on the path and continue the habits that we have now.
Yes, definitely. Casey, how was your experience today?
My day was really great. I have a little bit different situation than my other two friends right here. I am in the Immersion semester for the Willie program, and so I spend all day with the same 7 other people and the one professor. So for COVID times, that's been we follow the same policies, like we wear a mask in our classroom and inside the building and everything, but I don't have to go around finding my classes in the second floor East Beam lobby or anything, which has been very, very nice to not have to run around like that. But I had a wonderful day. We went on a hike in the afternoon in DuPont and just had a nice time getting to know my team for the semester.
Awesome. So you mentioned that you're in your immersion semester. For our viewers that don't necessarily know what immersion means, can you get into some detail on what immersion is?
Yeah, so it's this semester in the Wilderness Leadership Program where it's all you do all semester. There's one professor that devotes their entire semester to the immersion team, and it's you and about 8 other people. And we go through a lot of stuff, including land-based activities, water-based activities. But the big thing we do is we get our Wilderness First Responder certification. And over the process of the semester, we plan a 21-day expedition, and towards the end of the semester, we go out and execute it.
That's awesome. That sounds great. And I guess it's a good time to be in immersion. It doesn't really mess up your semester much. And you get that social distancing aspect out there as well. So Hayden, how was your first day of class?
I actually had a really great day and easy day today. I only had one class. It was biostatistics. I'm supposed to have a lab, but since we haven't met for class yet, the teacher emailed us on Canvas and said that we wasn't going to meet today for the lab. But I had a really great day, and it was different just because of, like, if you can walk into a classroom and usually you just sit where you want. Like, if you know friends in the class, you go sit with them. But it's just different because of there's like 4 or 5 seats between everybody, and like we do a really good job of practicing social distancing and everybody wearing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've heard that the administration's has been doing really well. But on your side of it, you have classrooms in places that classrooms normally aren't. Are there any like weird places that your classrooms are in this semester, or is it pretty much the same?
I have one in Dunham that would usually be in MG 125, but other than that, everything else is the same so far.
Gotcha. So going to the next question, what are some pieces of advice that you'd give a freshman student during this time? I know it's different for all of us, but us as student leaders, you have to rise up and really be their shoulder to lean on. So, what are some advice or tips that you would give out to these freshmen or students looking in?
I actually got the chance to talk to the freshmen both Monday and Tuesday last week, and I offered them the piece of advice of getting to know your professors and staff on campus. And I will stand with that once again. I will preach this message till I am the color of my shirt. And I find such incredible value getting to know the professors on campus because they truly care about who you are as a person and and through your academic success at Brevard College. And so they offer so much more opportunities outside of the classroom that I think, unfortunately, not enough students take advantage of. And they have these incredible stories. They're between in and out of experienced classroom and as well as networking. I think that our professors here have a great abundance of information and knowledge that a lot of that can be passed down through office hours, as well as staff and faculty or staff on campus as well. We have a great campus life team here on campus that truly want to be engaging with students like myself and others here. And it's just, they really do take the extra step to show us that they care about us. And so once again, I'll preach it to the freshmen, get to know your people here at Brevard because they're here for you.
Awesome. Casey? She might have cut out on us. So pass it over to Hayden.
Yeah, there she went. The advice that I would give to all the freshmen would probably just be yourself and just branch out because this is a new beginning for you, and you just need to be yourself and do things that you haven't done before and just make new friends and make new relationships because this is a chance, like I said, a restart. And you can meet lifelong friends here like I have. And you can just build so many relationships, whether that be with other college students, faculty or staff, your coaches, or anything like that. So I would just encourage them just to be their self and just trust and believe in themselves that they can do.
That's awesome. So take a little turn from your student leader and actually get into a dive into your personal student life here at Brevard College, and we'll go into the majors. Oh, hey Casey, how are you doing?
Sorry about that.
I'll go back to you. So the question was, what is some advice to give to some freshmen or some transfer students that are coming to Brevard College now?
My advice to freshmen and people new to college in general is always expect your plans to change. And I think that's very true, especially in these COVID times. But I guess if you're going to be more COVID specific, I would say that what you're experiencing on campus, the spirit is very normal, but the way things are going and the exact experience you're having is not what Brevard College normally is. The spirit of it is, but exactly what's happening is not. It gets better.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely unprecedented times here in the United States and all around the world, in fact. So going back to the question that we were going to start before Casey popped back in. Thank you for getting back in, Casey. So going to personal student life here at Brevard College and really diving into your majors/minors. If Rebecca, if you want to start off with, what is your major and why do you like it? And what are some of your favorite classes that you've taken at Brevard College?
So I'm studying business and organizational leadership with a minor in pre-law. And no, I don't want to go to law school, but I really enjoyed learning about law. I enjoyed the struggle of learning how to read it to begin with. I'm not profound in it whatsoever, but just a little taste of it is good enough for me. One of the reasons why I wanted to be a business major was because one of the first classes I had was really experiential, and I thought encompassed Brevard College as a whole. And the class is called a Shark Tank class. And I think, Patrick, if you might be familiar with this class as well, we got to have a competition in creating a business project At the time, I thought this business project was great, and apparently it was because our group won. But to now, I look back on it, it's just, I could tell I was a freshman. But I really enjoyed this class because it came with a lot of struggles that were really impactful on my growth. And it came with a group that was diverse in our interests, in our background. And I think that class was difficult for me, but I had grown so much from it. So I just really appreciated the business program in that specific class because it allowed me to really grasp the business program overall.
Yes, awesome. I was lucky enough while I was a student here at Brevard to take that class my freshman year. Wasn't as fortunate as Rebecca in winning that, but it was definitely a great experience overall. I'll pass it over to Hayden. How about you?
I'm an exercise science major with a minor in coaching. Some of my favorite classes have been I loved principles of nutrition. I loved motor skills and development. And of course, those two classes were both with Dr. Knott, and he's probably been the teacher I've had most contact with, and just been in most of his classes so far. And it's always a fun time, but we always get work done, and it's just a good environment to be in. And I chose exercise science just because I've always wanted to be a physical therapist and help people if they ever sustain injuries or anything like that. And I've always been want to help people get back to living a normal life or as normal as they can.
That's great. And Casey, you have a bit of a different role, so
yeah. I'm in the Wilderness Leadership and Experiential Education program, which has been super duper awesome. I'm also majoring in the Environmental Science program, and I have a double major in Geology and Ecology. So I'm a very busy person, but I don't think I could pick between the two programs. I truly love science, and I really love being in the outdoors. So I'm super stoked for this immersion experience. If it goes the way I hope it does, it'll be my favorite thing that I've done in the Willie program. But as far as environmental science goes, I got to really dive deep into that last semester in the spring. I took my climate change, environmental policy, as well as some plants and animals classes, just really, really cool stuff. I love the Brevard in all the classes, especially in the science program. We get to go out, we get to do things, and just really experience what it is to be in the program.
Yeah, that's awesome. Really getting all around here, getting the experiential education that Brevard College really has to offer and getting out in the field and actually getting on hands-on stuff. I have a question here from Erica Zufray. Whoever wants to answer this. Since you're all athletes, how do you feel about the athletic changes due to COVID-19?
Well, my season got canceled last spring, so we got the news in the middle of spring break. We were about to have some games at the end of that week, and it was pretty tough when the season got canceled. We had to have an impromptu senior day and everything. It was all very sad that we, without knowing it, we had already played our last game for the season. So that was pretty tough. And I really hope that we are able to get everything up and going in the spring so we all can have a season.
As a fall athlete, I'm on the women's soccer team, as mentioned before, and a senior. It was kind of just disheartening to know that our season was going to be canceled. It's been a tough one to swallow because for the seniors, both this semester and this year and last year, we spent our entire lives perfecting the sport, but I understand why it needs to happen. I guess how I really feel now is if we all do our part, we will earn our sport next semester. If we all take precautions that are necessary and in place already, then we'll earn our seasons next semester. And to have all these seasons come into one spring, I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be challenging, but if we really want that to happen, we need to do the right things. We need to be take those wearing the mask and socially distance and all of that. But it was a tough one to chew.
Basketball is a little different than my other two friends right here, but it's different because we actually, as of right now, our season is still planned to be played at the normal time. They're going to meet, the presidents of the conference are going to meet in about 2 or 3 weeks, and they're going to make a decision then whether or not to push our season back. But it would just be pushed back, I think, 3 months. So we would begin in January and then end sometime in April or May. So as of right now, though, our season is still like regular. So that was a good question.
Yes, it could be definitely a very very busy time in Brevard College athletics if all of our student athletes are playing and practicing all at the same time in our different facilities. But really looking forward to having athletics back here at Brevard College and really doing what we can. So going back to our student lives and our majors and stuff, I know Hayden touched a little bit on what he would like to do after he graduates, what his career aspirations were. Hayden, did you have anything else that you want to say other than possibly being a physical therapist or added on to that?
I'm not really sure where I would like to look for a job at, like what city-wise. But if I wasn't able to be a physical therapist, then I would look to be either a PTA, which is a physical therapist assistant, or a occupational therapist, or a athletic trainer, something along those.
Awesome. Rebecca?
Well, as a senior, I'm still not sure what I want to pursue, but I know that I don't necessarily want to leave soccer. So finding some sort of niche when it comes to soccer, whether it's coaching or whether it's working for some sort of organization as a side gig or something, that's kind of what I want to do. But I'm kind of up in the air about life after, plans after college and what that might look like. But at the same time, I know something will come up for me. And I know that when the opportunity arrives, I'll be ready for it and be prepared. So it just kind of up in the air. We'll see, but I'm open to anything.
Gotcha. And Casey?
So with my degrees, when I graduate, I am searching for a way to combine the outdoor activities that I love and teaching. I'm a big environmental educator. That's been something I've done in the summers and stuff for a few years now. So I want to be able to combine outdoor activities and guiding and that sort of thing with environmental education. And I think a really cool opportunity, especially being here, is that I could work for the North Carolina Outward Bound School based here over at Cedar Rock Mountain, which would be a really cool way to interact with students of all ages and be able to take them on adventure trips, as well as having an education aspect in there.
That's awesome. I have a question from Jack Atkinson. What do y'all like to do in your free time around campus and town?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, I like to go, I've said this many times, my favorite hike is John's Rock. I think it's a beautiful view. If you go the Cat Gap Loop, that's a whole nother day that you just can enjoy outside. So when I'm not hiking, or I definitely enjoy just hanging out and I know this might kind of sound weird, but I like cleaning. I like to clean in my free time when I'm not hiking or in class or working out. So that's what I like to do.
In my free time, I love to get in the gym. Even though it's my free time, I love to get some shots up. I also love playing video games, and I like to go golfing, even though I might not be the best, but I'm all right, and it's always a lot of fun when I go.
I go running sometimes in my free time. It's fairly nice to go running, but my favorite things to do are any of the outdoor activities I'm lucky enough to do in class for the Willie program. Like just yesterday, I was at Cedar Rock climbing and doing some rappelling. It was just stuff like that, whitewater kayaking. I went backpacking in March, just anything like that.
No, that's awesome. A lot of outdoor adventures to do around this area, and very lucky to have that. Thanks for the question, Jack. We'll go off of the student side of it for a little bit and go over to the athlete side of it. Going to the sports, and all three play different sports and have different experiences with that. So Rebecca, I'll start with you. When did you start playing soccer, and what was the sport compared in your early age to now, and how has it been your growth system throughout this time?
I want to say I started playing when I was like 3 or 4. I don't necessarily remember. All I know, I just find remnants of small, tiny little jerseys in my closet that I still have from the dark ages. But I played club soccer throughout my life and also played high school at the same time. And so with club, I've been able to travel. And one thing that I'm so appreciative and just thankful that soccer's offered me is the ability to travel and explore the states. And I can thoroughly say that this is something that I wouldn't have done if it wasn't for soccer. And so to see the evolution of even evolution within myself and personal growth and athletic growth and connecting with teammates on a deeper level while still being able to have those opportunities to explore the states has been really fortunate. And the only people I have to give thanks to that are my parents, is because they've supported me, both taking me to practice and allowing me to further my interests within my sport. And so this is something that unfortunately I feel like a lot of people take granted of within their sport, but I think it's always important to reflect and remember like just how fortunate and a privilege it is to play. So yeah.
With me,
Yeah, Hayden, would you like
my bad. I probably started playing around 4 or 5 years old, as long as I can remember. Like Rebecca, I remember finding all kind of little jerseys and trophies all over in my attic and closet and stuff of when I used to play. It was always a fun time, and I started getting real serious with basketball around middle school in 8th grade, and I knew that I would like my dream was to play college basketball, and I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to fulfill that dream. But high school ball was a great memory, and one of the best memories also was in AAU ball because, like Rebecca, I want to give a shout out to my parents because they've sacrificed so much, like traveling so many, like probably thousands of miles, um, gas money, hotels, and like just being and taking time out of their lives to like help me fulfill my dreams. And it was just one of the best memories of my life was playing AAU ball and going to all, like she said, all these different cities and experiencing, and then having all these new friendships and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's great.
So
Casey?
I started playing lacrosse when I was in, I think, 5th grade. So I was about 10 or 11 or so. And I have a slightly different story than my friends here. I got to really watch the sport develop in Georgia, in my area, really, because it was still fairly new. I started in the feeder program for my high school, and it was super duper small. I think I was on the youngest team they had, and we were like 11. And there was only one of those teams, so it was still a super small program. And I've gotten to watch the sport develop in my area and watch like tournaments that I would only be able to go to if I went to like Philadelphia, if I went to Maryland, if I went to all those types of places up in the Northeast where lacrosse is super, super big. I did get to go to the tournaments because I played club for a long time, starting in probably in middle school, and really got to go experience what lacrosse is like up there, which is really neat because now it's starting to become like that in the South. There is huge competition in the club teams where there was only just a few when I started. There's dozens in the Atlanta area now versus the few that they were there when I started. So watching that develop and watching so many girls get to try that sport and really get to see what it's all about has been really, really neat.
That's awesome. So going off of this, you all have your respective sports, all different sports, and just wanted to get into the culture and what it's really like to be a part of your respective sport and day-to-day life, possibly how the team gets along and stuff like that. So Rebecca, if you wanted to start us off.
I absolutely love our team. We are very diverse when it comes to interests and hobbies outside of soccer. And so I think we have a lot of different types of girls that really make it for a unique and fun blend when off the field. and our team culture is really accepting, I would say. And whenever I see my teammates even on campus, I know I'm greeted with a smile, and I'm greeted with like a "Hey Rebs," or I'm greeted with love. And sometimes that smile or just that love, even though it's just a hi from my teammates, can really help me get through the rest of my day. And so I know my teammates are really supportive, and playing soccer here at Brevard College has given me a family within a family, and I'm very fortunate, and girls that I can rely on if I need to, and I've connected with some of the girls on a deeper level as well.
With basketball, we have a lot of new faces, but I'm loving everybody so far, and I get a really good vibe, and that we're all on the same page, and so we're still trying to get to know everybody, like day by day and stuff like that. But like if a regular day as a basketball player on our team, we'll usually with the COVID stuff now, we'll have 2 hours gym time. Then we'll try and get on the track and run some. But then after that, we actually have a group chat, and we made plans at least once a week. Like we all hang out as a team as we keep practicing social distancing. But like just to hang out and just like get to know each other off the court, and like Rebecca said, build a relationship that we can count on them, and that's what we look forward to.
Yeah, like they said, my team is super close. We spend a lot of time together. Actually, I live in this village with all of the lacrosse girls that aren't freshmen pretty much, or RAs. So I see them all the time. I live with them now, and we spend a lot of time with each other on and off the field. Especially, we do community service. It's a really, really big part of the women's lacrosse program. We go every single week, in season and out of season, which is pretty hard to say. Like it's hard to make it work during in season, but it's a really important part of our team culture to go out into the community and really get to know these people at a couple places we go to. We go to Rooster Head Farm down the road on Old Hendersonville. We love them so much, and we also hang out at the Boys and Girls Club of Transylvania County and help out there as part of our community service. And we just have a great time doing that too, and that's another way we get to spend time and really get to know each other off the field.
That's great. Really appreciate you guys. If I stand, or correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys were the Tornado Cup winners this past year, which if you wanted to get into that, if you wanted to explain what the Tornado Cup really is for our viewers.
Yeah, so the Tornado Cup is a competition every year between all of the athletics teams. You get points for doing various things. There's 5 different categories, a few of which are athletes supporting athletes. So going to other teams' games, like lacrosse team, we get points for going to the basketball games and the soccer games and the football games. And we sign a piece of paper with everyone's names who went, and we get points for doing that. And that one's super easy. But another is academics. So GPA for the team is really important, as well as community service hours. And it's a huge competition. We all get really into it, and it's a big deal at the end of season banquet at the Best Bees. The Best Bees that's announced who's won the Tornado Cup for that year. And it's been really cool to be on the team that's won it 3 years in a row. And we also won the community service part individually this past year.
Yeah, that's great. So I appreciate you guys all being here. I'll give you one last chance to say something to your family and friends, as we always do. Say something to the viewers out there that are watching you. And Rebecca, if you don't mind.
Well, I want to say to my grandpa that I love you and I miss them. And my family, I miss you guys. And I'm thinking about you guys. And I call my dad every day, for those that don't know, but my family means a lot to me. So I love you guys, and I'm always thinking about you, and I work hard for you guys.
I want to give a shout out to my family as well. I'm pretty sure they're watching live right now. Just want to tell them that I love y'all and I miss you, and I hope to see y'all soon. And then shout out to my roommate. I don't know where he is right now, but Jack Atkinson. He's been probably one of my closest friends since my freshman year, and so he's been a real one. So shout out to him too.
I saw in the comments, I saw my Aunt Kathy and my Abuelita, and I just want to say I love you guys. I miss you. And my mom and dad and my brother, I think, are watching. But if they're not, it's okay. I love you guys. I'll see you soon, I'm sure.
Well, thank you guys so much, and thank you to everybody watching. Make sure to tune in next week as we'll have the Student Athletic Advisory Committee on Tornado Talk next Monday at 7 o'clock. So I appreciate everyone here, and I appreciate you guys being student leaders on campus and really pushing this campus forward and during this unprecedented time. I hope you guys have a great night.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you. You too.